Thank you, everyone, for joining us and spending your evening with us tonight. My name, again, is Elle Chiquetto. I'm a homeopathic practitioner and owner of Access Natural Healing Holistic Health Center. It's on Commercial Drive, and we have all our information up on the slide here. And we have a blog, and it's part of our website, so it's www.accessnaturalhealing.com. So feel free to look up a lot of some of the information that we're going to go through tonight is also on our blog. We have been part of Access Natural Healing for about a year. We've only been on Commercial Drive for a year, and we are very fortunate to have many wonderful holistic health practitioners. We have ear acupuncture at our clinic, and cranial sacral therapy, Reiki, and of course homeopathy. Our homeopaths at our clinic specialize in homeopathic immunity in family practice and for travelers. And so tonight I'd like to outline what we're going to be speaking on and all the sections involved. So we're here, of course, to speak about homeopathic options for building natural immunity. We'll explain this in 4 sections. The first is, what is an immune system and how does it work? Then we'll be talking about a little bit of history of homeopathy and the history of use of homeopathy in epidemics. Thirdly, we'll speak on how do vaccines work, how does homeoprophylaxis work, which is otherwise known as homeopathic immunization, and what is the difference. Lastly, we'll touch on what we do at Access Natural Healing, which is offering our homeopathic immunization protocols and what to expect when using those services. So as Angela explained, then once those sections are spoken on, we'll have a little short break where your questions that you've written out will be compiled, and we will answer those after the 15-minute break. So it is my honor to introduce tonight our team of homeopaths from Access Natural Healing. First, we have Ming Din. She is a graduate from the 4-year course at the Vancouver Homeopathic Academy. Before that, she graduated from McGill University with a Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy. She will be discussing tonight what is an immune system and how does it work. Next, speaking on the history of homeopathic medicine, is Alison Burden. She is a certified homeopath who offers options for healing and healthy aging. She has a vast variety of experience in natural health care and is a graduate of the Vancouver Homeopathic Academy. Third, we'll have Isabel Johnston, who graduated from the American Medical College of Homeopathy. This is a school whose graduates will be entitled to work within the Arizona public medical system as of the year 2014. So Isabel is happy to have returned to BC and will be speaking on the topic of how do vaccines work, how does homeoprophylaxis work, or homeopathic immunizations, and what is the difference. And then myself, Elle Chiquetto, I graduated from the Vancouver Homeopathic Academy. I'm passionate about allowing natural healthcare options to be more available to those who choose it. And I'm honored to have Health Action Network Society exist to help move that forward. So let's get started. I'll pass you on to my colleague, Ming Din.
Hi. Can you hear me? Hi. So I'm here to talk to you about the immune system, because in order to talk about the question of vaccination, we need to understand the immune system. And it's very complex. It's developed into what it is today through millions of years of evolution. So evolution is a process of adaptation. It's a relationship between different organisms. And in this case, we're talking about between pathogens and between our immune system. So a pathogen is anything such as a virus or a bacteria or a poison that can harm you. And the immune system is our mechanism for recognizing and dealing with pathogens. Now, every minute of every day, we're all interacting with pathogens in the air we breathe, in our food and water, and in everything that we touch. So being alive basically means that we're swimming in a soup of pathogens. Now, our immune system has evolved over millions of years to deal with these bacteria and viruses that live with us, so that most people who are alive today are competent to deal with the pathogens we're exposed to. This is called coevolution. Many diseases that never had vaccines developed for them don't cause the same mortality rate today as they did centuries ago because we're adapted to them. Take, for instance, scarlet fever. Now, here's a graph. It shows mortality rates in England and Wales for scarlet fever, whooping cough, measles, and diphtheria. So scarlet fever is this red line here. Measles is the green. Whooping cough is the orange. And diphtheria is the blue one at the bottom here. So what the vertical axis shows deaths per 100,000 people, and the horizontal axis here is a timeline going from the 1800s until 1975. So what you see is the same downward trend in mortality for all these diseases over time until here at the end of the timeline, it's practically zero. It's very, very small. And what is interesting to note is that all these diseases trended downwards like that over time, and scarlet fever never had a vaccine developed for it, and vaccines were developed for the others right here, here, and here on their downward curve, and they didn't cause any marked decrease in the death rates after they were introduced either. So it's something to think about. So now on to the immune system. The immune system is made up of many components that work together to protect us. They can be grouped into three main mini-systems. The first line of defense is a physical barrier. It keeps the pathogens on the outside so they cannot get inside to infect us. So first we have the skin, which is represented by a brick wall. It's solid. Nothing can get through unless there's a break in the skin. For instance, when we get a cut or a scrape. And then there's mucous membranes, which are necessary because we need to absorb food and water, we need to absorb oxygen, and we need to get rid of waste. So there's got to be a place where that can exchange in our body. So in the mucous membranes are represented here by a wall with a window in it. And so you get the air exchange, you get the food exchange going through the window. And embedded in the mucous membranes is something called secretory IgA antibody. It's a protein molecule that sits there and traps pathogens on their way into your body. So it's as if that curtain that's hanging in the window were sticky like flypaper, and pathogens on their way in would just stick to it, and then they would get inactivated and they would get excreted out of the body. So that's our first line of defense. And then if something can get past that line of defense, if we get a cut in the skin, or if there's a really strong pathogen that makes it past that into our body, it can multiply and start an infection. So that's where the second line of defense happened. It's something that's called the cell-mediated immune system, and it involves specialized blood cells and chemicals that cause inflammation. So I've made it kind of easy to remember. The sword here and the Pac-Man are your specialized white blood cells, the neutrophils and the macrophages. Neutrophils come along and they kill all these pathogens. They kill your viruses and your bacteria. Macrophages kill them too, and then they eat them, and then they discharge them outside the body. So if you have pus in a wound, if you have nasal secretions in a cold, or if you have diarrhea in digestive infection, that's what it is. It's the macrophages getting rid of dead tissue and dead pathogens.